A big welcome to Travel Convention TV from me, your president. Throughout the convention here in Gran Canaria, together with our media partner Travel Trade Gazette, we'll be bringing you the convention right into your offices and shops with up-to-the-minute footage of the keynote speakers and events. I feel passionately that all Abta members should have an opportunity to share in the travel convention. So to start things off, we spoke to our opening speaker, the President of the CBI and the Chairman of British Airways, Martin Broughton.
Good morning, I'm Lucy Huxley, I'm the editor of TTG, and I'm joined now by Martin Broughton, the President of the CBI and the Chairman of British Airways. He's here to speak to us and open the convention on the first day in Gran Canaria. Martin, can you tell us, first of all, a little bit about what you're going to be telling delegates today? Your speech is about innovation and adaptation?
Yes, I see my job is to make sure people don't go away too depressed by the current scene. There are opportunities out there. This is a time when people are going to be more conservative, so brands they know, businesses they know are going to feel more comfortable for them. So branding is important, innovation is important to stay one step ahead, and that particularly I'm going to pick up on sort of climate change and environmental innovation.
Okay. And are you going to give anybody any key tips? I know previously you've talked about risk and investment and reputation, and that's been important for BA in the past, but will you be able to translate some of that to the travel industry today?
Well, I think it is exactly what I've been saying. It is establishing and maintaining consistency in branding. People have got to know who you are and what to expect from you. And the opportunity for adapting, I think, is consolidation. There's going to be a lot of consolidation, snapping up opportunities when others do get into trouble, but also looking for the bigger opportunities in the parts of the world which are not suffering.
Okay, and presumably BA's had to innovate and adapt over the years. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that and what it's planning to do in the future?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've led the way in terms of club class, flatbeds, etc. I think that's been our sort of outstanding feature. At the moment we're looking at things like the iPhone applications, so you can now get all of the arrivals and departure information on your iPhone, and that's really proving popular. Other things, we've started something called a Metro Twin, which is a social network for fast, frequent travellers. All sorts of things going on. I think it's very important that you don't cut back on innovation, you don't cut back on marketing, and you don't cut back on the customer. The rest of it you can cut back on, but if you cut back on those, then you're putting your business at peril.
Okay, that's good advice. Recently the Tories have said if they get into power, they'll be voting against a third runway at Heathrow. How would that affect BA and obviously the industry in general?
I think it's extraordinary that the Tories, who have always considered themselves the party for business, should so categorically go against what business wants. If I put my CBI hat on and stay away from the vested interest, it was very clear that we represent business, and London wants to stay ahead, the UK wants to stay ahead. That requires a top quality airport, and not one that's shrinking and leaving the opportunities for Frankfurt and Paris, etc. It's Heathrow where expansion has to take place. That's not to say others shouldn't expand, but what Britain needs and what London needs is a hub, preferably the best European hub.
Okay, and what about this suggestion also that we could just improve the high-speed rail links rather than having regional flying?
Well, there's two suggestions going around at the moment. One is the rail links. The rail links is a terrific idea, not as an either or, as an and. We do need much better rail links. Heathrow needs much better rail links. Heathrow would become a genuine world-leading hub if it had proper rail links. So yes, I'm all in favour of it, and that will cut out some of the short-haul business, and I think that's a good thing. It's not the solution to Heathrow, and Boris's fantasy island isn't either.
Okay, Martin, if we could just move on to another area of major concern for the industry, which is, of course, the fluctuating oil price. Is it fair that some of your major competitors in the Middle East, which are, of course, owned by their governments and they are the very people that control the oil price, do they have a competitive advantage over BA?
Well, you're right. The fluctuating air price is in many ways a bigger problem than the absolute price. moving from sort of 85 up to 147 and back again is extremely difficult for any airline to cope with. Yeah, but clearly the Middle East carriers have an advantage here. It's very difficult for us to ascertain just how big that advantage is because they don't really disclose it, but they have an advantage.
Okay, you're not able to tell us how much of an advantage they've got. Okay. You spoke to us before you came here, and we talked about how when you went to zero commission, actually was a very good thing for the industry because it actually removed some of the dross, I think that was your word, and kept the good agents alive. So do you still maintain that, and what are you going to be looking for from agents going forward? Are they still a very key part of your sales strategy?
It's one of these difficult issues because the travel agents are extremely important to us as our customer, but for the agents themselves, and this is true of any agent, they have to remember who their customer is. It was Henry Ford who said, it's not the boss who pays your salary, it's the consumer. And their consumer is the person they are acting as agent for. And they shouldn't confuse who they are the agent for. They're the agent for the end consumer. We have a strong relationship with them. It's an important relationship to them, very important. But they are the agent of the consumer, so they should be charging the consumer, not anybody else.
Okay, but they're definitely part of your distribution strategy going forward.
Absolutely, a key part. No, very important to us.
Martin, do you think that given the current downturn that consumers are still going to want to continue travelling at the same levels they have been?
Yeah, I think the current situation creates more stress for people than ever. And the one great thing this industry provides is relief from the stress, the opportunity to escape from time. So I think it's more important than ever for people to get away from things from time to time. They may take shorter, more frequent holidays or something like that instead of a longer one further away. Others, I think, will just try and get away. I think there's going to be a lot of leisure business staying there. It's one of the last things people cut.
And just if I can ask one last question, obviously airlines make a lot of their money is in the business class seats, but do you think people will downgrade? I mean, you talked about people taking maybe shorter holidays, but will they actually spend less on holidays and perhaps go in economy which would have an effect on your revenues?
Yeah, we've seen conflicting evidence of that. August, for example, our premium leisure was highest it's ever been. So we've seen growth in premium leisure, but we've also seen long-haul economy coming down to short-haul economy. Although our recent World Offers sale sold better even than last year, and that was only just the last couple of weeks.
Well, thanks very much, Martin, for joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck at BA and also the CBI.
Many thanks.